And that is such a relief when you realize, like, I don't need to be everywhere all the time. I no longer feel like this pressure on myself when I'm trying to relax that I have to get things done for my business. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. And if you don't know me, my name is Haley and I'm just a girly balancing a 9-to-5 job and a small business, and just sharing the day-to-day, my tips and tricks for balancing everything and more with my business and full-time job. So today I just wanted to sit down and share kind of what I have started to learn through the many years of balancing a corporate job and a side hustle. So if you're someone who like has a side hustle, or you want to start a side hustle and you're like so overwhelmed with how do I fit basically another job on top of having another, like a full-time job that you're already committed to and working on throughout the day. So I have struggled so much with this and failed, and I've also found things that have worked for me. So I wanted to share those to hopefully help you, whether you're just starting your journey or you've been doing this for days or weeks or months or years or however long and you're just feeling lost. So a little bit of backstory. I have actually been running a side business alongside my full-time job for the entirety of my career post-college, which I think that's been like 8 years now. So when I think about that, that's so much time where I have truly never not just been doing one job. So I've had a lot of experience with doing things wrong and also figuring out like what actually works. My backstory is I always loved photography. So actually at the end of college, I started my photography business and I continued that on while I was working my full-time job as a software developer. So now both of those things have morphed into something different. So I'm a product manager now at my 9-to-5, and my business is a lot more focused on branding and web design and just empowering female small business owners online. So anyways, you're probably like, Haley, let's get to the point. What are you going to help me with? Okay, so the first thing that I have done is basically created a schedule each week that I can stick to. Here's the thing, for the first many years of having a side business, I was always like, I am going to feel so motivated because I love my business and I want it to grow. And so whenever I feel like posting on social media, or I feel like, you know, designing this thing, that's when I'm gonna do it. And I quickly realized motivation will not bring you success. Here's the deal. You are working a full 9-to-5 job. So you're already using, whether that's like mental or physical or emotional energy or a mix of all of those, for 8 hours of your day where you're focused in on that job. You're using so much energy focused in on that. So by the end of your workday, a lot of times you're gonna feel really exhausted and not actually have motivation to do the things you want to do. And I have felt this so many times, and I realized that what I really needed to focus on was small moments of discipline that I could stick to throughout my week. And how I do that is actually scheduling out my work for my small business. So I'm gonna pop up on the screen a little glimpse of my calendar for the week. And what I do basically is I sit down each week and I will mark out all of the tasks that I need to do on my calendar. And I make sure not to actually overwhelm my calendar with tasks. I always wanna make sure that I have like a whole entire day or half a day a week where I'm literally not committed to do anything for my small business. And then on the other days, I have maybe 1 to 3 hours of tasks, depending on if like I'm doing stuff for marketing or if I'm working on stuff for clients, that's gonna be scheduled out. And what makes this so helpful is that I no longer feel like this pressure on myself when I'm trying to relax that I have to get things done for my business, because I know that I already have it scheduled in. I'm going to get tasks done when they need to get done. I create space, so if I have a night where I like have a headache and I can't work on my small business, I have another time slot maybe that I can move that work to. But yeah, the important thing is to not overwhelm your schedule and find out what works for you so you can stay disciplined and focused on it. So then you can also just like enjoy the time that you have to rest that you want scheduled in. And specifically for when I'm working with clients, I actually work with them to create a day-by-day project schedule, which I'll pop on the screen here too. But I will literally say like day one, we're doing the kickoff call. So I know in my head, okay, I'm probably gonna need an hour to prep for the call because I'm doing some research for it, and then I'll need an hour for the call. So that's like my work for the day, is like the kickoff call with the client, and so on and so forth. I'm scheduling each day where I know that I have work to be done, and that's what I'm going to commit to. I know how much time that work is going to take, and then I also can schedule in when I know, like, okay, I know that like Tuesdays I'm not going to have a lot of time to work because I have Bible study to go to at night, so maybe I have just like 1 hour to work on for this project. I can also schedule in when I know I'm going to be on vacation or traveling, so then that is planned already and I don't have to hurry and catch up on my work with my client. So just like think ahead, and you have to be really intentional, which I know is so hard if you're not a planner. I thankfully love planning, so this is exciting to me, but creating this type of structure is actually going to help you feel less overwhelmed because you know exactly the expectation on you. And then when you have, you know, those days off or evenings off or mornings off, you don't feel that pressure that you need to constantly be working on your side business. All right, the next thing that I do is all around content creation, which I have a love and hate relationship with, as I'm sure most of us do. Social media is hard, but I have, just like planning with my weeks, I have been really focused on simplifying and planning out my content. A lot of people actually recommend for small businesses that you focus on basically 2 types of content platforms. You have one long form content, so that's like YouTube or blogs or Pinterest, where your content is lasting a really long time, and then one more short form content platform like Instagram or TikTok or even like Snapchat or things like that, where a piece of content's really not going to last more than 24 hours. And the reason this recommendation is so great is because you have this like evergreen platform with your long form content, where you have content that you're spending a lot of time on and it's going to last a really long time and have the potential to continue to grow and reach more people. So that longevity is literally so priceless for your small business. And on the other side of things, you have that short form content. So that content is going to be a lot more about just engaging like daily or weekly with your community and just building up that more loyal following. Now, if you're anything like me, you feel this pressure that you need to be on literally every single platform. Like I wanted to be on TikTok and YouTube and Pinterest and blog posts and Instagram and all of the things. And I would do that probably for like 3 days. I would have all my content planned out. I would work on it for 3 days. And by the 4th day, I was truly so overwhelmed and exhausted and burnout that I wouldn't create content for like 2 or 3 months, like on any platform. So what I've learned from this is start small with your content. And that's so hard, especially when you want to grow your business quickly. And I think we see a lot of people grow quickly online and we feel like that pressure to continue to grow, but I think it's so much more important to be intentional and grow slowly so that you're not just completely burning yourself out, especially if you're just starting out. So what I do now is my short form platform is Instagram. And the reason I chose that is because I really love Instagram stories and the way that I can engage people in that daily. And then also I've had clients find me through Instagram, so I already know that platform is working for me. So with Instagram, what I do is focus mostly on stories to keep that community engagement. And then I do like maybe 2 or 3 posts each week. And I'm not too focused on like the performance of the posts. I'm more focused on making sure that I'm engaging with my community, and that's what I want that platform to be. For my long form content, as you can see here, I'm using YouTube, and I actually sometimes will write blog posts alongside some of these YouTube videos just to increase that SEO. That's something that's more optional in my mind. It's not a part of my strategy I have to do every single week, but it's something that if I have time, I implement it. And the reason I chose YouTube is I love YouTube. It is my favorite platform to consume content on, whether it's for like my small business or for my job or just for life in general. Like, I love watching vlogs here on YouTube. So I just feel like it's the platform that I would have the most fun on, most fun creating content on and engaging people with. And so I think that's another important part of your content strategy, is choosing platforms that you actually enjoy being on and enjoy creating content on, and not just choosing platforms because they're popular. Like, I felt this pressure to be on TikTok and constantly be creating videos on there, and I realized that I really didn't like the platform at all. There was not a lot of like community interaction on TikTok. A lot of it is just like pure discovery, and I'm not a big fan of that, especially because it's kind of like up in the air if videos do really well or don't do well. So I just realized I wanted to table that platform, and I could come back to it later. I could repost Instagram or YouTube clips on there, but I just don't feel the need to post. And that is such a relief when you realize, like, I don't need to be everywhere all the time. Okay, so I did mention in there the idea of people like growing quickly and feeling that panic. And that's like my next tip, is just learning how to not panic when you're growing slowly as a small business. I feel like content online is constantly pushing you to do more in less time. Like, all of these courses and creators I see posting are talking about how you can get 10K months in just a couple weeks, and how you can get 100,000 followers in less than 6 months, and constantly talking about this like extremely rapid growth. And it puts this pressure on you as a business owner that if your business isn't growing that fast, like, it's not successful. And I just want to say that is like the most untrue statement ever. First of all, you are running this business alongside a full-time job. If you're watching this as someone that has a side hustle, there is so limited time for you to focus on, one, your business in general, and two, your actual content, that it's not going to be very easy for you to grow quickly, and that's okay. I used to overthink my content online like crazy. I would literally spend hours like watching Instagram and YouTube videos on how to grow quickly and all of this stuff, and I would burn myself out because I was just trying to learn all of these fast strategies that felt like never worked for me. And when I realized that constantly chasing numbers and money and dollars is never going to bring you true satisfaction in your business, and it's just going to lead you to fatigue and just feeling really burnout and tired and sad about your business. So what I've decided to focus on instead is the joy that I have, like being able to reach out and work with my followers and clients and things like that, and that connection that I get to build, and that service that I get to provide and help people with. And I've also learned that slow growth is really good because it gives you space and time to pivot. Maybe if you don't like what you're doing, to change it up and try something new. It allows you time to learn, like, you know, learn what platforms you like posting on, instead of maybe like accidentally blowing up on TikTok and then realizing you hate creating on that platform, but feeling then pressure to create because that's the platform that had a viral video for you. And I think it's also just really helpful to grow slowly so that you can be intentional about how your business is growing and where you want it to go. If your business blows up super quickly, it's hard then to control because you have such a huge demand to keep performing and doing exactly what you've been doing. And when you are growing slowly, you have that space again to like try things out that are new. Okay, my fourth tip and thing I've learned is to flex different muscles between your 9-to-5 and your side business. So a little story with this one. When I switched to being a product manager, my introverted brain literally started imploding because as a product manager, I am constantly in communication with people. Like that is the core of my job, is working and collaborating with lots of different people and orchestrating things and making sure everything is on task. So a lot of days, like I will have 4 to like 10 meetings a day, and a lot of times that's going to take up a lot of my time, and I'm introverted, so having lots of meetings mentally drains me so much. So when I first started, I was still pursuing like my wedding photography and portrait business, and I began to despise doing sessions at weddings because I would be so burnt out from talking to people, and then I would have to go and be on for a session of wedding for however many hours and be bubbly and cheery and constantly communicating, especially at a wedding. Basically, you're kind of like coordinating everything at the wedding as a photographer and making sure everyone's where they need to be. And I just realized that doing that photography for the majority of my business and doing my product management was so draining because I was using the same social muscles for hours upon hours of my week. So that's when I decided I really needed to focus more on my web design and branding part of my business. And I realized that I loved that because I actually truly love like being an individual contributor and being able to create things and make things. And that's something that I don't do a lot as a product manager. And although I love being a product manager, it is something that I miss. And so I get to explore that and be creative in that aspect of my skills in my side business. So it creates so much more of a healthy balance because I'm not using like the same exact like skills and brain whatever to get things done both in my business and my side hustle. So I get to flex different muscles and I'm not feeling overworked. Just like if you go to the gym, you're not going to do legs every single day because like you are going to injure yourself. In the same way, you don't want to be doing the same exact thing both in your 9-to-5 and your side hustle for the majority of both, because you're just going to overwork yourself and burn yourself out. Okay, fifth, and probably really important and hard for, I know, a lot of people who have side businesses to accept, is having non-monetized hobbies. And I am a big culprit of this. I am very much someone who is so ambitious, and when I start a new hobby, I have like an idea for a business or content or whatever, and I want to just run with it. Like I literally did this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've been having, back when I was doing TikTok, like most of my videos around like book reviews were doing really well, and I love reading. So I was like, maybe I just like start a book talk and start, you know, creating content around that, and you know, maybe that can blow up and become something. And I had to stop myself and be like, listen, Haley, you, 1, do not have time for this. 2, does this really align with your business and career and where you want it to go? And 3, like, relax and enjoy yourself for once. It's so important to have a non-pressure hobby that you can just sit down and enjoy yourself in and not feel like you have to get money or followers around this thing, because you already are spending however many hours, like 40, 60, 80 hours on your, you know, career and on your side business, working on that you just need space to like relax and have fun and have no pressure in how well you're doing or performing, and have no pressure on having other people's eyes on you. I also have found that like now just like reading is actually a really fun connection point with my followers and clients. Like I'll post book reviews on my Instagram, and that's one of the things that are like the highest, most engaging stories that people are replying to, and it's just a point of connection that I can now have with my followers. That's really fun. They're not like expecting me to post about it, but when I do, it's just an exciting conversation to have and makes that relationship with my followers a lot more real and more community-like, because I'm sharing things outside of just like my business. So I just want to say, if you are an overachiever like me, just chill out with it and have some fun outside of the pressure of making everything a business. Okay, lastly, I just want to say that running a side business is so hard, and there are going to be seasons when your 9-to-5 job is going to be so overwhelming that you just need to take a break from the content or your entire side business, and that's okay. Running a side business, you have to be flexible and just roll with the seasons of life, and things are going to fluctuate, and knowing yourself and knowing when you need to take a break and being aware when you feel like you're burning out is super important when you're running that side business. For myself, I know I start getting really like irritable and anxious when I'm approaching that burnout season. So I usually first just like drop my content completely, and even if I'm gone from Instagram or whatever for a few weeks, I always come back and my followers are always back to engaging with me as usual. So I think just knowing that like your business is not going to fail if you take a break. It's going to be okay, and the most important thing is your mental health. As you're running both a 9-to-5 and small business, it's important to just stay mentally healthy. Otherwise, you are just going to completely burn out and then not be able to do anything. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I could talk about this literally for hours, but I don't want this video to be too long. So I really hope this video helps you. If you are, a small business owner balancing it with your 9-to-5, maybe you're a mom trying to figure out your small business alongside that. I just truly hope that you're feeling inspired to just go out there and take control of your small business and know that it is possible to run one. I've been doing it for 8 years now, alongside your 9-to-5. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you're interested in more videos just about life balancing a 9-to-5 and small business tips about showing up online as a small business owner, I would love to have you follow along and subscribe and like this video, and comment down below if you have a small business. I would love to follow you and support you.